Start tonight with the cell tower on a local school campus. It's at the heart of a heated controversy.
Parents outraged tonight after a fourth child is diagnosed with cancer at a San Joaquin elementary school. And parents believe it's because of radiation caused by a cell tower at the school.
Sprint recently shut down a cell phone tower on a Ripon school campus after some parents worried it was linked to several recent cancer cases.
Sprint says the tower is safe, but is moving it to a different site.
Shifting their focus from the sky to the ground, the school cell tower is gone. Now parents of kids with cancer in Ripon also want answers about what's in the water. CBS 13 investigates.
Why did you wait 6 months to let folks know that you took this well offline?
CBS 13 investigator Julie Watts is digging deeper, uncovering holes in city records tied to a chemical known to cause cancer.
Yeah, we searched decades of Ripon's water records, and we found missing data, inaccurate information, and some years Ripon skipped required testing for certain chemicals. We've now spoken with 7 of the parents whose kids have cancer, and they want answers.
We promised that we would check off every box that we could check off to make sure that these children don't get sick anymore.
Their sons, Kyle and Mason, were diagnosed with cancer a year apart. Kelly and Monica first focused on the cell tower at Weston Elementary as a possible contributor. It's since been removed.
So I just got 2 more entries.
Now, unintentional activists, they're compiling a list of other people in Ripon with cancer. And as that list grows, they're broadening their focus to include the chemicals found in Ripon's water.
So what does this list tell you?
There's a serious problem.
The cancers on their list include kidney, liver, breast, leukemia, and others linked to trichloroethylene, or TCE, and its sister chemicals. TCE was used to decaffeinate coffee at the former Nestle plant in Ripon in the 70s and was later found in the groundwater in the late 80s. Nestle is now required to track the chemicals by testing the water in wells in Ripon, and records show they've migrated away from the plant towards homes and schools.
Hi there, Mr. Johnston?
Yes. The state also requires Ripon to test the city's drinking water annually and to report when these chemicals are found. But CBS 13 uncovered Ripon didn't report any TCE testing at this well in 2011 or 2013, and in 2017 they tested but left the results off the public report.
So we've sent several emails.
After the city ignored our interview requests, we caught up with the director of public works at that drinking water well in hopes of getting some answers.
You signed this document certifying that the 2017 CCR was both accurate and on the city's homepage. Yes. Neither of those were true. Did you review the documents before you signed them?
Yes, I did, and we inadvertently did miss the TCE on
the city says it simply forgot to report the TCE, but corrected the mistake 8 months later following media attention of the recent child cancer cases.
That's quite the human error.
An excuse that doesn't sit well with Kelly and Monica.
For how long have they done that? How long have they known that TCE's been in the water, but left it off of an annual report that's supposed to be given to the public? TCE, the number 1 cancer causing of TCE is kidney cancer. That's what my son had. Liver cancer is the second. That's what my neighbor died of. So why did we not know?
We learned Ripon found the chemicals in this well last summer at 90% the maximum level allowed by law, but waited 4 months to shut the well down and 6 more months to notify the public of the results or closure.
Did you know that the well had reached 90% of the legal limit?
No. I had no idea until you told us.
Did you know they shut a well down?
No.
And they want to know just how high the levels got during that 4-month lag time.
And if it tested 90% that day, it could have tested 100 or over 100 the week before.
The city won't confirm if it did any additional testing, but the moms also want to know why they didn't share the results sooner.
Why did you wait 6 months to let folks know that you took this well offline?
Again, I'm going to have to ask you if we can do this another time.
We're still waiting for that interview, but it's important to note this is only one of 5 drinking water wells. The others did not test positive for the chemicals, though it's not clear how much water any one home got from this well at any given time. Now, the city insists, quote, at no time was water delivered from this well or any other well that did not meet safe drinking water standards.
I don't know that I believe that. Do they know that for a fact?
But safety aside, they stress they had the right to know what was in their water, and they didn't.
If you had known that, would you have allowed your children to drink that water?
Absolutely not.
No way.
Even knowing it was still below the legal limit?
Absolutely not.
So interesting. So, Julia, is the cancer rate in Ripon higher than the rest of the state?
You know, the answer is we don't know right now. We're still waiting for more data from the state. A report, though, on all childhood cancers in Ripon did not find an excess number compared to the rest of the county, though the county rate is higher than the state. But that report did not include kids diagnosed after 2016. That's most of the families we spoke with. It also didn't look at adults with cancers. And as you know, cancer can take years to develop. So we hope to have more information soon.
No, we know you'll follow up. Julie, thank you.
Kids with cancer and parents desperate for answers. CBS 13 has uncovered troubling test results from a school water fountain that the district didn't tell parents.
CBS 13 investigative reporter Julie Watts is here with evidence of contaminated water at Weston Elementary in Ripon and new details on exactly where it came from.
Yeah, we got our hands on these water fountain test results through a public records request. This is stuff that parents haven't seen. They show the presence of a cancer-causing chemical in the school drinking water. The results are dated before a public school board meeting where the district assured parents the soil was safe, but they made no mention of these water tests.
Near surface soil does not pose a significant risk to human health and the environment.
Those were the findings presented to parents after the school district agreed to test the soil at Weston Elementary, where 4 kids have been diagnosed with cancer in as many years.
It's a pretty inclusive report.
They assured parents the soil was safe, but as we reported, they didn't test for the chemical of greatest concern to many, trichloroethylene, or TCE, a chemical known to cause cancer, known to be in the groundwater in Ripon, and a chemical we've now learned they knew was in the school drinking water. These lab results, commissioned by the district, show the chemical in water from a school drinking fountain at levels high enough that the city would have been required to report them to the state. But the district didn't report them to parents.
We have a lot more questions than we do answers.
Kelly Prime's son Kyle and his friend Mason were 2 of the 4 children diagnosed with cancer at Weston Elementary. There are as many as 10 in the area.
My gut tells me that something is here that's causing these issues.
Kelly and Mason's mom Monica first fought to remove the cell tower on campus. And while they say they haven't ruled it out as a contributor, they've now turned their attention to the water in Ripon. CBS 13 has confirmed the source of the contaminated water on campus. According to the city, it was this well, which they claimed had been turned off last year after testing positive for TCE-related chemicals at 90% of the legal limit.
Why did you wait 6 months to let folks know that you took this well offline?
We questioned the city back in May after uncovering inaccuracies in the city's water reports and years they didn't test this well for the chemical at all. The city now confirms they've been periodically turning the well back on without notifying the public. And it was active the day the school samples were taken back in March.
Is that safe for folks to drink?
It's within the state guidelines.
But UC San Francisco scientist Vina Singla says there are no safe levels of TCE exposure for children.
Drinking water standards and guidelines that we have now are many decades old, and they don't account for the latest science that shows that pregnant women and children are more susceptible to TCE.
The city insists the water meets all established drinking water standards and notes the levels found on campus were below the legal limit. But they may have been higher at the source, as the city says the water is a diluted mixture from 5 different wells. Historical testing showed the chemicals increase when this well is active and decrease when it's not. But the city won't say if it tested this well on the day of the water fountain test or any other day since they turned it back on.
So until we get those answers to those questions, we are very concerned.
Now, the city says it only activated that well for a total of 33 hours since it took it offline. We asked the school district why they didn't immediately notify parents about the water on campus, and we asked if they did any follow-up tests. The district has not responded to our emails over the course of several days, but they have now posted that raw data on the district website. And, you know, parents point out this test was one snapshot in time. These levels are constantly fluctuating, so they really have no idea how much their children have been exposed to this chemical, if at all.
Yeah, health issues are so crucial, and especially when they involve kids. I mean, hello.
It's scary.
Why would you turn that well on if you knew? Julie, thanks.
The fact that we've had 10 kids diagnosed with cancer since 2015 was heartbreaking, but until you guys did the investigative reporting, I wasn't aware that it could be actually connected to a contaminant in the drinking water.
And there you have it, a local congressman demanding answers tonight after seeing our reports, which uncovered holes in city water records tied to a chemical known to cause cancer. Our investigation was prompted by parents asking for answers after a growing number of kids were diagnosed with with cancer.
CBS 13 investigator Julie Watts is here with an update on our Ripon cancer investigation. Julie?
Yeah, tonight Congressman Harder is questioning the state and regional water boards about an apparent lack of oversight in the city of Ripon. Is that safe for folks to drink?
It's within the state guidelines.
As we reported, the city recently shut down this drinking water well due to elevated levels of concerning chemicals linked to the former Nestle plant in Ripon. Records show they're migrating towards homes and schools. The city insists the water's safe, but we found inaccuracies in the city water reports. In years, they didn't test the water for the chemicals at all. We also learned there's been no reported testing of the chemical in the air or the soil in a decade. What can be done to make sure that the city of Ripon is doing everything they can to protect folks?
Well, that's what the regional and state authorities should have been doing. And so that's why I wrote this letter, is to make sure that that oversight, which clearly hasn't been happening to the degree it should have been, is actually being moved on now.
He is demanding specific answers from the Water Board on how they intend to address the issues raised in our reports. He's also looking into designating Ripon as what's called a Superfund site. Now, that would allow for federal funds to come and be used for cleanup and other efforts.
When this first story came out, it was kind of shocking to hear, but it's nice to see that it's not being ignored and there's further steps being taken.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty confident this is just the first of many steps that will help to address this issue. Will you drink the water?
No.
We don't even let our dogs drink the water.
Moms of kids with cancer concerned about chemicals in the water in Ripon. Now their concerns have spread to the air.
CBS 13 investigator Julie Watts has learned drinking water with these chemicals isn't the only concern.
Yeah, according to the EPA, these chemicals are also linked to health problems when found in the soil and air at certain levels. And we've learned there's been no reported air testing for this chemical in Ripon in over a decade.
Vapor intrusion is a source of exposure to TCE and related chemicals.
And state health officials confirm when that chemical hits the air, it could create an odorless vapor linked to health concerns, including cancer.
Primarily with kidney cancer, but also liver and a number of other cancers.
The agency says living or working above contaminated soil or groundwater can put you at risk. And as we reported, tests confirm TCE is in the water in Ripon.
Is that safe for folks to drink?
It's within the state guidelines.
The city recently shut down this well due to elevated levels of TCE-related chemicals. Still, they insist the water's safe, testing below the legal limits for drinking water. But we found inaccuracies in the city's water report and years they didn't test for the chemicals at all. Drinking water aside, some parents are just as concerned now about the air impacted by the water.
My concerns that I have is that our children played soccer, baseball, hung out on the grass, just sitting.
Kelly and Monica's sons are two of the 4 children diagnosed with cancer at Weston Elementary. After they raised concerns about the cell tower, the school district commissioned soil samples on campus, looking for other possible answers. Their findings?
Near surface soil does not pose a significant risk to human health and the environment.
The district tested for weed killers, pesticides, arsenic, and lead, but they did not test for TCE.
It's a pretty inclusive report.
The consultants hired to perform the testing tell us the district didn't tell them about the chemicals in the groundwater, linked to the former Nestle decaffeination plant in Ripon dating back to the 70s. An abatement order has required Nestle to test and report the chemicals in water since 2006, which incidentally appears was the last time anyone tested for TCE vapor in Ripon.
Is landscape water safe that our kids are playing in? I don't believe that it is.
Nestle's latest annual report found elevated levels of the chemicals in the upper aquifer and some Ripon irrigation wells, including one for Ripon Public Schools. Experts say outdoor vapor exposure is not generally a concern. Health concerns are linked to higher vapor levels that may accumulate indoors. We asked the district if it's ever tested for vapor at the school and why it didn't test the soil for TCE. The school district did not respond.
So it's scary.
The city of Ripon confirms it's never tested for TCE vapor anywhere in Ripon, and Nestle says the last time it tested near the plant was 2006. The levels found then were well below the safety standards at the time, but the EPA recently updated those levels due to new information about the health effect of the vapor on babies. Today, the levels found in 2006 would be above the current screening threshold.
So I just got 2 more entries.
Monica and Kelly are now compiling a growing list of cancer cases across Ripon, and like many, they're desperate for answers.
We're looking for anything to prevent cancer and to save this community.
Well, some good news for them tonight. We just got confirmation that the Water Board is going to require Nestle to perform new vapor testing in Ripon. They say it's unlikely there's been dangerous exposure, but they want to test out of an abundance of caution to ensure TCE vapor is not contributing to these cancers.
Better to be safe than sorry. Julie,
Absolutely.
thanks. Tonight, moms of kids with cancer are finally getting some answers following concerns over contaminated water and air.
CBS 13 investigator Julie Watts is here with the surprising results of soil vapor testing in Ripon following our ongoing investigation.
Yeah, you know, the answers we're getting tonight, they're actually leading to more questions, as many of these parents in Ripon expected they might find one cancer-causing chemical in the air there, and instead, test results show another related but different cancer-causing chemical. Let's recap. First, parents were concerned about the cell tower on campus after 4 kids at Weston Elementary were diagnosed with cancer. Then they turned their attention to the cancer-causing chemicals found in the drinking water and groundwater as they compiled a growing list of people with cancer in the city. But a CBS 13 investigation revealed that chemical could be just as dangerous when it evaporates into the air. And we learned no one had tested the air in over a decade.
We know it can cause cancer by any route of exposure. So what that means is whether you breathe it in, whether you drink it in contaminated water, we're concerned about all of those exposures.
Well, now they have tested the air, and tonight we have the results. They did find a cancer-causing chemical in the soil vapor slightly above the screening levels near the schools and well above the screening levels in downtown Ripon. But it wasn't TCE, the chemical we've been reporting on in the water linked to the old Nestle plant in Ripon. Instead, it was a similar chemical, PCE. It's often used as a dry cleaning solvent, and the Water Board tells us it's not likely connected to the Nestle plant. Now, the Water Board does tell me they will be doing more testing to try to determine the source and how widespread this chemical concern may be. Based on initial testing, however, they say it appears the chemical in the air could be associated with the sewer, not the groundwater.
We should have the answer today, tonight, right now, and we don't. And that's frustrating because how many more children have to get sick and how many more children have to almost be on their deathbed for somebody to do something about this?
An emotional night. Parents of kids with cancer expected to get answers tonight about their concerns over contaminated water and air.
But as CBS 13 investigator Julie Watts shows us, a public meeting left some people pretty frustrated there in Ripon.
Yeah, parents came here hoping to get answers tonight. The Water Board gathered a room full of experts, but there were 2 agencies conspicuously missing: the City of Ripon and the Ripon School District.
See, that's not under our jurisdiction. So
once again, this is going to be something you probably have to ask the district.
That was the response Kelly Prime heard again and again at this public meeting, billed as an opportunity to learn about soil vapor and groundwater investigations related to a cancer-causing chemical called TCE found in the drinking water in Ripon.
I'm getting to run around. There's no City of Ripon present here. There's no school district here that can answer any questions.
Her son and his best friend were both diagnosed with cancer about a year apart, along with at least half a dozen kids at their school and in the surrounding neighborhood. Kelly wanted to know more about the TCE found in the water fountain at her son's school and the school irrigation well, where the chemical was found above the legal limit.
Do we know for sure that that well is irrigation and not drinking? Because it was reported at one time that it was a drinking well.
we do not regulate that school as a water system. It's just a connection of the City of Ripon.
Are we going to be able to now come in and do this vapor intrusion testing in homes?
There were experts at the meeting to explain the testing they've done for the colorless, odorless TCE vapor, also known to cause cancer. But again, folks were frustrated to learn there are no immediate plans to test inside homes and schools where the vapor can cause the most harm.
So Kelly's asking, will the state come in and do vapor intrusion testing in the homes of these folks who have concerns of elevated levels?
I think it would be best for us to finish our process and verify the data that we have.
Is it possible if they continue to breathe this vapor that more people could get cancer while they wait?
I would have to ask the toxicologist about that. I don't know.
Do you want to go ask the toxicologist?
Absolutely.
If you are exposed to vapors, yeah, the longer you would be exposed, that would increase the risk. But I think the question maybe more important is, are you actually being exposed to the vapors?
The Water Board plans to do additional testing. They hope to have more results early next year. In the meantime, we will continue working to get answers for these parents and for the City of Ripon.